Alright, so back out at the range today. I think I got my barrel issue taken care of, got everything put back together, tightened up, tensioned, everything seems to be in place. So now I wanted to come back out here today, try to re-zero it, make sure it's shooting good again, see if it can still hold and see what it can actually do now that I've got everything tightened up and fixed. So first what I'm gonna do is just kind of get a rough zero, shoot through a chronograph, try to get some average velocities, and then maybe here in a little bit we'll play with some tuning and see if we can kind of get that accuracy and those velocities dialed in just a little bit more. .908. .902. All right, so looking at that, that's just a real quick extreme spread of about 9. Max was 908, min was 899, so actually pretty consistent right there. That's not too bad. A lot of the people I've talked to said they're kind of shooting for about 920, 940 feet per second. So what I'm probably going to do is dial up my tuner a little bit, and then we'll kind of see what that looks like if we can bump it up just a touch. So here is the settings on where you can now tune it. So what you end up with is you've got a valve up here in the front. You can adjust this valve in and out a little bit to kind of bump your velocities up, kind of your main air dump. Then what you've got back here is some more fine tuning, which I believe adjusts the hammer spring, so control some impact and how much air it allows out, how long the air can come out of. So let's kind of dial it up a little bit. So it's factory set at 8. That's why it's circled. We'll bump that up to 12, and then you can see it moves this, and there's a quick tune system. So that's kind of your macro adjust, and then down here you kind of get to your more fine adjust. So we'll leave that on 3. Actually, we'll just bump up to 11, leave that on 3, try it again and see what happens. Also, one thing to be aware of is you cannot make those adjustments when it is cocked. It will break stuff. They're very clear about that, so make sure that you fired, you haven't recocked it before you make any adjustments, or else that will break that trigger system. But let's come back in now and see what we got. Little. .897. Thought it'd go up a little bit more than that. Let's bump up this main air valve about a turn and a half. Air's still good. Try that again. That first one bumped up, as you saw, but it didn't stay there. So .917. So 913 to 920 was the max range on those 5. Extreme spread of 7. Okay, not too bad. I think it did bump up a little bit. Now let's shoot some accuracy with just our standard pellets first and kind of see what we end up with. All right, now let's just take a look at the group real quick while I was making those adjustments. So right here I'm sighting in at 50 yards. You can see my overall group was about 2 MOA to the right, 1 MOA high. But overall, for about 15 shots or however many we took, that is not bad at all. So 50 yards, we'll turn it, I'll put some new targets on. We can get dialed back in, made those adjustments. Now let's actually shoot some groups with this thing. All right, set up, got the target down range. Let's just start with a 5-shot group and see where it's at. Middle one. Try again. That's on paper now. Pretty good for those last few shots. Let's touch it over. Let's go shoot that right side now. Now it's the other way. Right in the center. Something's leaking. When my bolt's open, I've got an air leak. Alright, now you can't quite hear it on camera, but when my bolt's open, I've got a little bit of air that starts leaking out. So it looks like all my problems with this gun, unfortunately, are not quite done. I don't know if shooting it the first time caused me some issues, or I blew some O-rings or something. I'm gonna have to dig into this a little bit more and see what's going on. But it's still holding a little bit of air. The pressure still says good. Let's just take 5 more shots, see what they look like. But yeah, I'm gonna have to dive into this one a little bit more and get things completely taken care of, unfortunately, because I didn't notice that before. I never noticed the air leaking when the bolt was open. It was still going. Put the magazine in. Let's just see what we look like. For the most part, it shoots okay. I get kind of 2 that seem like they jump off a little bit, but then it comes and dials right back in. So I've got no idea, honestly, what's going on. But I did actually get me some slugs. I've got 1 target left. Even with everything going on, let's just take 5 of those slugs, send them down range, and just kind of see what the groups with those look like. Alright, so I did pick up some slugs, just some FX hybrids, 26 grains in the 25 cal. Here's kind of what they look like. If you guys can see that or not, they've got a little bit of cup in the back to help hold the air pressure, hollow point nose in the front. Heard a lot of good things about these hybrid slugs, but unfortunately with the way my gun's kind of going right now, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to be as consistent as they should be with what seems like some of the air issues I've got going on. So with that though, we'll still shoot them. I've got 1 target left. We might as well while we're here, and yeah, we'll just see what happens, and I'll go back and try to dig into this, see if I can find out what's going wrong. But let's see what we can get anyway. Okay, I should still have enough air in there for 5 more shots. Still hear the leak, so we'll close it up. Let's just shoot that last target and just see what happens with these slugs. Significantly higher than the pellets. About 2.5 minutes. Nope, that one was just 2 minutes to the right and level. Yeah. Well, that grouped horrendously, and I actually still got my chronograph up. I didn't check the other ones, but looking at this one, velocity on that one was 862. And those slugs, honestly, barely half a grain heavier, so dropping by over 50 feet per second on that last one's interesting. I'm just getting no consistency out of this thing, which is unfortunate. I really want to love this gun. I still really do like this gun. I think it's got the potential there. I've just had enough issues with it that it's kind of irritating. I've got to get it taken care of. Either take it to Utah Air Guns up north. I got to get a hold of FX. I got to see what the heck's going on with this thing, because I mean, there's no way that should be leaking when the bolt's back. I'm inconsistent, and I had the problem starting off. This just might take a little bit more diving in by somebody who knows more about these than I do, unfortunately. I'll keep you updated, but that's kind of where I'm at right now.